QuickBooks Pro Desktop 2021 Tax Line Mapping Schedule K Adjustment for Charitable Contributions. Let's get into it with Intuit's QuickBooks Pro Desktop 2021. Here we are in our S-Corp test file. We currently have the open windows open. You can open the open windows by going to the View dropdown, selecting the open windows list. In prior presentations, we entered the information into our QuickBooks system. We took a look at the tax mapping that then helped us to map it out to where it should go in the tax software, exported to the tax software, and now we're doing a reconciliation of the tax software and what we exported from QuickBooks to Excel to see that reconciliation process. So in other words, here's what we have currently in the 1120S. We have the 65510. Here's what we have in the Excel system here, the 55510 on the net income side of things. The next item that mapped over, one of the differences, when we're like searching for the differences, we can say, okay, what else happened here? I can look at the reconciling items on the tax return, which includes line 3. So we have the Schedule K adjustments and then the M1s. We have this 800 in charitable contributions. So it didn't get pulled over to a deduction as it is over here on our statement here and in QuickBooks. It's here as a deduction. It got pulled over into the tax return as a Schedule 1 item, meaning it's going to flow through to the Schedule K1. Over here, I have the two partners for the, it's on line 12, the 4,000 in other deductions here and in here. So that's going to be one of our adjustments that we then have. If we look at the taxes or QuickBooks, how did that happen? Why did it pull over that way? If I go to the lists drop down and take a look at the chart of accounts, and we go to that charitable contributions, we're adding that here. When I look at it and edit it, we didn't map it to an expense line item, but rather to the Schedule K line item here. So we're saying, hey, we're going to record the expenses on the S corporation, but it's going to flow through when we export it to the tax return on the Schedule K automatically, and it did that for us automatically. Now we just need to reconcile for it. Now, if we were to have mapped this out to some type of expense on the tax return, then we would have to make an adjustment for it. There probably wouldn't be an expense really that we can take it to possibly because it might not be typically deductible for taxes. So therefore, we put it to the Schedule K, which is where you would think it would be going to. But again, if it went to just an expense on the tax return, then we'd have to do a tax adjustment and do the adjustment to put it on the Schedule K item. Okay, so then let's go back on over and say, all right, well, that means that we need to record that on our side of things. So I'm going to go back to page 3. We have that 8,000. So I'm going to record that on my side just so I can kind of reconcile it in our Excel sheet. I'm saying that charitable contributions is not included in the taxable income on page 1 of the 1120S. I want to reflect that here so I can see it. So I'm going to say this is going to be tax entry number 5. And I'm going to say this is going to be equal to the charitable contributions. I'm just going to put it on top because that's the account I'm focusing in on, even though it will be a credit. I'm going to put the credit on top. I'm just going to say I'm going to take that credit up top. I'll post it just to see if it does what I want, which is to take it down to 0. I'm going to post this out, and that should go back down to 0. So that makes sense. That's what I want to happen because then that'll be affecting my income here, and it'll be part of our reconciliation item. Now, the other side, where am I going to put the other side? Well, I'm going to put it down here somewhere once again in my Schedule K type of adjustments. So I'm going to select these items. I'm going to right click so I can add another column, insert another column, and shift the cells down. This is going to be a Schedule K adjustment that we're going to be making, and this is for charitable contributions. And then I'm going to put a 0 here. I'm going to calculate the formula on down. So I'm going to bring this formula down here. Double clicking the total. I need this total to be going all the way down. So I'm going to drag this on down to include the last line. Try it again because it didn't work last time. And then I'm going to put my cursor on this one and drag that across. So I have the same here. So the total's going all the way down. This total for net income, this needs to be going down to this 0. It doesn't really matter because it's going to be 0, but I'm bringing it down anyways just to show that the difference is that, and this one's going to stop basically up top, and this one's going to stop up top as well. So then we're going to go back on over and say the other side of this transaction is going to be equal to the Schedule K charitable contributions. That's going to be the debit side of the transaction, which I'm going to record down here and say this is going to be equal to the 8,000. So there we have it. And so now my net income over here is at the 63,510. If we go then to QuickBooks, we have the 65,510. So we're not quite there at this point in time, but that's where we're at as of now. And we've recorded these reconciling items that have been posted automatically, brought through from QuickBooks to the tax software in Schedule K, recording the adjustments, and we could just basically kind of rework that. I would rework them in Excel so that we can verify that to ourselves to see those reconciling items. So if I was to get audited later and I had to figure this out, I'd say, okay, yeah, we had these 3 Schedule K, reconciling items, which of course line up to the Schedule K here, and I'm trying to reconcile to page 1 so I can kind of just see my reconciliation process. The other reconciliation items will be on page 5, which will include those items that are not deductible and will not be included on the Schedule K. And one we can see here that pulled over automatically is for the meals and entertainment, which is a common one, and so we'll take a look at that one next time.